Yeah, you can talk about that.
Okay, I'll hand over to Aaron.
Me? Yeah. I had a project that I wrote called Panzer 88, World War II supernatural thriller that I wrote about 10 years ago. And it's been kicking around all this time, and initially we had Stan Winston attached to it, but that didn't work out for some different reasons. And then every once in a while we take it out, dust it off. I actually gave a copy of the script for Ben to read, which was, I look back now, as one of those
5 years ago.
yeah, it was a great little moment because I had given a script to Peter to read, and he hadn't read it.
Yeah, what was strange was I actually knew Ben 5 years ago and didn't know Aaron. So we met through Comic Book Sunday, so
It was great. And I gave my script to Peter, he hadn't read it, and then one day Ben said, well, Aaron's got this other thing that he's worked on. And he told Peter about it, apparently he was enthusiastic.
I'll take that one up. Aaron actually gave me a script called Voracious, and at Comic Book Sunday, it was right after I'd said, hey, great t-shirt. And lots of beer was going on that day, and he said, hey, I've got the script, will you read it? And I never read people's scripts, ever, because they always suck. And I don't know why I said yes. You know what, I'm jaded and horrible.
That drive-by humor, right?
Yeah, thanks. Drive-by humor. Yeah. I'll do Alan impressions. Yeah, so Aaron gave me the script called Voracious, and I woke up the next day with a hangover and went, oh no, do I really have to read this? And I didn't, and it sat there for 2 weeks, and I was driving on with Ben one day, and Ben said to me, have you read Aaron's script yet? And I said, no. He said, he's got lots more like it. And I went, oh, has he? I went, yeah, and he's got this thing, and he started to tell me this story. And the more he talked, I thought, God, that sounds wonderful. So I called Aaron up and said, look, I'm sorry, I haven't read your script yet, but you've got this other thing, I'd like to read it. And did you messenger it over? I can't remember. How did you get it?
I just ran it over.
You ran it over to me. And I read it in the garden in one afternoon. And as soon as I read it, I just went, oh, I want to make this. It needed a little bit of a rewrite there, and I worked on it.
No, it was perfect.
Brilliant. Massive.
It was all Ben's fault.
It was all my fault.
We punched up the action, we punched up the writing, and and I happened to be back in England, and I happened to have a meeting with Gary Kurtz, who produced Star Wars and The Empire Strikes Back and American Graffiti. And Gary said, what do you got right now? And I told him about Launches Rex. He said, well, what have you got that we can do? And I had one project, but it was early days. And he said, well, what else have you done? And I said, well, I've done this thing. He said, that sounds great. Should we do it? And I was like, really? And we actually hadn't finished the draft at that point. So we were working on it right up until 20 minutes to midnight, I believe, in Las Vegas on New Year's Eve.
And that was wonderful.
Yeah, because when the fireworks go off on the script, but you just finished the screenplay. Let me tell you, every writer should finish a screenplay 20 minutes before midnight in Las Vegas. Oh, sure. And Gary loved it. We announced it in February in Variety, and some stuff has happened since then that I really shouldn't talk about. But if I tell you that I've been in the last 2 weeks, we've been talking to Richard Taylor at Weta Workshop, which nobody knows about yet, but now everyone does. And I can say no more about that, but stay tuned for the next couple of weeks.
Now we're gonna if you guys have questions, just raise your hand. Actually, there's a mic over there. If you want to start making your way over there. I know you had your hand up a while ago, so please talk loudly and turn around and say the question so everybody else can hear. Next.
Is there a particular medium that's easier to put together as a story or an idea that would let you do other parts of it later? Say video game first, novel later.
Who you asking? Any of the guys?
Jonah.
I totally missed the question. We're playing Scrabble. I have a question for you. Since we're playing Scrabble. NUS. What does that mean? News as a word. Is that a word?
What?
Scott!
Hi.
What is NUS?
Yes. What are you asking me?
You're asking me a question.
I was asking you, is it easier say, a video game idea, and then parlay that into a screenplay.
No, there's no easier way.
There's
no easy way.
Writing is not easy. Whatever you're writing in still has to all work. And that's the hard part.
Yeah. Video game that's probably the hardest. Like a development cost for a video game series, we're talking about $100 million, $50 million. So you're dealing with the same challenges as a movie, and video game designers aren't the people I was pitch. My advice would be design a comic. Write a comic, write a great fucking comic that impresses the hell out of people, find a great artist, and then use that as a comic.
Language.
I didn't read that small print, sorry.
Yes.
You can't say it.
Anybody here under the age of 18, you're fired.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and open it up to Mike.
Hi. This particular question is for Jared, I do believe. So I'm a big fan of Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. Love it. And I read a rumor somewhere that you guys are planning to adapt that into a film. I'm not sure if it's true or not. And then I guess it's like a two-part question. What was going through your head when you started writing that and like putting it together? Because it's pretty brilliant and it's really dark and it's really absurd, but it's really brilliant all at the same time. Wow.
Thank you. As for the movie thing, that's been going on since it was new, when it was still, being made. No, there's no plans. People come up there once in a while. I've had, producers and people wanting to do it, but there's never been anything that actually moved ahead. I'm usually pretty down on the idea. It'd be too hard to actually make it the way that I wanted to make it unless I had pulled like a George Lucas and made it all with my own money, but then it would be like a $10 movie. It'd be the best $10 movie I could make, but it would be playing like in my house on my laptop, and I'd have to invite one person at a time.
I'm actually going to put the other side of that, which is that on both these movies, I actually went out and found the financing myself because I wanted creative control. So, I'm a writer, producer, and director on all three, on both of them. So, you can do it. If you have a good project, you get out there, you'll get more question.
Next question, please.
Next question.
The second half of